is here with some, I don't know, early evening thoughts for you today. Thought I'd chime in, say hey, let you guys know I'm feeling a little bit better. Still have today has been excessive with this runny nose. Let me tell you, yeah, it's been a runny nose thing. It's been a little headache thing, um, and so a little sneezy. So I've been dealing with it, but I'm still here. I'm still real. I'm still alive. And I still have to bring this grown folk talk. And today, one of the things that kind of rang home after having a little conversation with someone regarding an issue that they're going with is size. Does size matter? And I'm gonna try to keep this as clean as I can, y'all. But I gotta keep it real. Gotta keep it real. You know, I had did a video that really, really took off regarding what if he's too large. If he's too large, it could be a massive, massive, massive mess and experience for some women. And even though some say, hey, I want to have a little extra size in there, and they don't want it to be to the extreme. So, does size really matter? Because I've heard stories about, some men not being well endowed and they have been the best lovers imaginable because they get more creative in other ways along with the limited size amount that they have. And we can also take this on the realm of women too. You know, there's some women who have some Grand Canyons, really, Grand Canyons. Now, after having a child, things do kind of go back down to a certain space, size, whatever, than it was before. However, still stretches open to accommodate this 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and sometime more pound baby to come out. Bones and muscles have to shift, allow this opening, and then they come back down and things shrink back into place. And supposedly, it's a normal type of situation moving forward. Um, for women who have had C-sections, they don't really know how that side of the scope goes because they've never really had to push a baby out. They perhaps may have went in my case, I went to 8 centimeters or whatever, trying to open up, but nothing happened. So it just depends. It depends on the woman. It depends on how your body is working and this and that. If it's a difference after, I don't know. Share that. Someone share that has been with a woman who has, you know, given birth to a large baby or even a average sized baby. Do everything go back to normal? So, does size really matter? Would you or do you think it's okay for someone to um, dismiss getting to know another person in a serious way because they were too large? They were just absolutely too large or they were too small. Do you think that's a deal breaker? You know, um, do you think that it's okay to judge a person on, because just like men kind of judge a woman by certain things, women kind of look at the crouch and things like that too. And even if you're looking at the crouch, it could be a smaller size at the time and ain't even expanded, so you're really not getting a true picture of what's going on. I just had to say that, y'all, excuse me. But does it really matter how big they are? Does it really matter how large her canyon is? Some men, I would say, if she's too wide, they would take that as a turn off because it's not going to allow him to feel the grip of the muscles and to be able to clutch on in the way that he wants to feel that friction. He's not going to feel it. It's just going to be just loosey. And that may not be a good feel for him in that way. But there's other creative things you could do or try to figure out something to help along the way with her canyon being grand. That's the best way I can put that. But what if, you're dealing with not 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 the fact that he's too large, but he also, maybe he's struggling with too itty bitty. And so I mean, does it matter? What if he's just this wonderful, gorgeous, absolutely stunning type of man in every other way, but there's a little walnut or almond, there's just a little almond. And, would that be a deal breaker? I would say not. Why would you want to make that be the deal breaker, right? Um, but then again, when you're talking about someone that's really, really endowed, that's really large, and then, you have these lovers, if you want to call them lovers, that just don't know how to be gentle, just don't know how to take it in a gentle stride. Everyone's running off to the races trying to knock down doors and walls instead of just being gentle. What happened to the gentle lovemaking sessions? Okay, I'm not saying that sometimes is you can't just. I'm not saying that, but that should be the exception and not the norm. It shouldn't be the rule. And there should be passion. There should be gentleness. So whether you're dealing with a large package, male or female, or a small package, because the difference between the men and the small packages is if a woman has a small package and it's a tight canyon, a man could really like that. He could like the fact that it's a tight canyon. Now, being tight and dry is two different things, because, and I'm gonna keep this 100 real. We grown folks, right? Right? So I'm gonna keep this real. I'm trying to keep it clean, but I'm keeping it real. You have the dryness that some women need help with, especially as they get older, or some women deal with things when they've had hysterectomies and stuff like that, and they just don't get lubricated in the way that they really want to or need to, and so you have to help them along the way. There are certain things you can get lubricants. You may have to do other things to entice the flow of the juices and things like that. Comes with skill and knowledge and being grown and knowing how to do things. But I'm not speaking in terms of being dry, I'm speaking in terms of being tight. Some are just tight, their canyon is tight. And so a lot of men like that. They like the fact that it's just gripping and grabbing them. It's gripping and grabbing those walls, and it's just, they just, man, it's like they have a virgin all over again. And why some women have tightness and some don't, I don't know. I'm not a doctor in that area, but there are women who do deal with that. They have smaller canyons, and they are truly loved. But when you talk about a man with being small down there, and she's not able to really feel the depths of his plumpness and stuff like that, it could be frustrating. It can be frustrating. But if he's skilled in areas to know how to compensate, because, the term you've heard is not the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean. So, whether you're small or big, if you know how to handle your size in making, I mean, just like if you're a thinner person compared to a bigger person, you're able to flop around, move around, spread, do this, do that, stand on your head. You can do all kinds of stuff. Then a bigger person, that's going to be more of a challenge for them to even lift a leg, right? So if you have a smaller size, you're able to do a lot of acrobats in there. move it around, chop it, swoop it, move it, dip it, whatever it is, you're able to hit certain walls in different ways to make that motion of the ocean better. That comes with skill. That comes with skill. Now, if you are small and you just don't have a clue, and you're not open to doing anything else to try to make it a little bit better for this person you're dealing with, uh, Houston, you may have a problem. Hmm. Hmm. So, back to the question at hand. The topic: does size really matter? I, me personally, I don't like to always get into the personal realm, but I like to let you guys know that I am real and I have thoughts too, and I'm human. So, me personally, it's not all about size. It's not about size. Um of course you want to be satisfied in feeling something, but if a person is a lover, if they're attentive, if they're into your needs and pleasing you, if they know how to work with what they have and you help them work with what they have, it's all good. And if your emotions is caught up in that person in the right type of way, then it's all good. You see what I'm saying? You can work that out. You guys can work it out. That's only a chip off the block of what other bigger issues you're going to have, okay, in a relationship. So, that's just my take on it. And if you have someone that's just extremely large, that's like a bulldozer, in that canyon, that can be a little bit too much for an average size woman. And especially if he's not gentle, you know, um, some forget that we need to be gentle with the person that we deal, and that's women too. Women, some of you guys are just a little too rough with going down there handling the jewels. You are. And sometimes you have to have a brother will have to say, okay, no, no, that's too, slow down. That's too, I mean, they get scabs and burns and nibbles and bits and all kinds of stuff because you're just too rough. So women have to be gentle too. Comes with skill. Comes with skill. You got to be gentle with the jewels. Don't get down there trying to do certain things that it's just too rough for him. Because although it's feeling good and he is, you know, showing you with these moans and groans that it is a good great, but at the same time there's pain. He doesn't want you to stop, but he doesn't want you to keep doing what you're doing. So some got the teeth issues going on, and I used to be a braces girl, and you had to retrain your mouth with your braces. However, your teeth shouldn't have nothing to do with what you're doing if you know what you're doing. If y'all know what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm just keeping it 100 real today, okay? Um so you have to be careful. Excuse me, you have to be careful, women, as well. You can't be rough either. You have external jewels that you're supposedly handling with caution and care. And they're sensitive to a man. All that down there, very sensitive to him. So all that tugging and pulling and biting and scratching and causing sores and all that, girl, bye. They do have a class you could take on that. Okay. But, men, back to you. Now, you got this big old size bulldozer and you feeling her and you all excited and you just want to ram it on in there and you forget that, man, I could really be hurting her. Now she's moaning and she's whining and she's hollering and all that, and you thinking, oh, that's exciting you more because you thinking, oh, I am excited. Oh, man, I'm doing, but you really tearing that stuff up to a fact where, and believe me, Listen when a woman says, stop. No, stop. Okay, that don't always mean keep going. It may mean that it's hurting her. You know, if she start pushing you up off of her, she's pushing you for a reason. She's not grabbing you into her. She's pushing you away from her, right? Pay attention to those things. Body language. It's not always because you hear the moans and the groans that is happy groans. And especially if you are big and well endowed and she is hurting. Because a big one will hurt you. It will if he's not careful. Sometimes with a big one, you cannot go all the way in. You have to go to a certain point, and then you have to tenderly work yourself through the motions of getting in a little more. And some women, you just will never get in all the way, right? And so the flip side of that, if you got a little almond and you don't know how to really work that almond and do the things you're supposed to do so she can feel some of the almond, she's like filing her nails or something, or watching the TV while you doing whatever, or looking at her cell phone. That's the worst. Have you ever been with somebody that cell phone went off and they gonna have the nerve to pick up their cell phone, look at their cell phone in the middle of the mm, something ain't right with that one. But anyway, um, she's doing all these other stuff because you don't know, and she's trying to move it and wiggle it and work with you, but she can't find what's going on. So you have to know how to work what you got because everybody can get it and everybody can use what they have to make it happen. It is not about the size. And that's why I wanted to talk about this today because, some people will tell you, they'll tell you right up, it got to be, if they ain't got this amount of size, if they ain't got this amount of size, 9 inches or more, I ain't messing with them. What you do, you bring out a tape measure fully extended and measure it, and if you guys have spent like 6 months together and it's about to go down and you measure it with a tape measure, and if it's not 9 plus, it's a wrap. Really? That could be the best man that you've ever had in your lifetime, and you gonna kick him out the boat because he's not 9 inches or more? And who says that 9 inches or more is considered big? I don't know. What's average? Is it 6 inches, 7 inches? I don't know. Y'all tell me what is average. And what if she's wide as a canyon? And even on a relaxed note, when she's not excited, it's still wide. You could just slip your hand in there or something like that, and it's nothing gripping, touching, or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I think you would have to go to the doctor about that because uh, is it is it is it women that is that big though? I've heard stories about it being big where they can't really feel the grip of the wall, but is it that big where it's just open like that? Because it seemed like that should be have to be fixed. And how did it get like that? Y'all gotta excuse me. That face wasn't too cute, huh? But how did it get like that? Where it just stays. Don't it go back? I don't know. Y'all tell me, help me out with that, because I've never dealt with such a thing. I've just heard certain stories from men that have experienced loosey gooseys, but I haven't had a woman come to me and say my goosey is Lucy. I mean, my Lucy is goosey. Y'all know what I'm saying. My goosey is Lucy. I ain't never heard that happen. But in this video is not to be making fun of anyone. Trust me. It's just grown folk talk, just bringing out the real 100%, talking about things that people think about, but sometimes don't feel comfortable discussing. I'm one of those that I feel comfortable discussing anything, okay? So, um, does does size matter? What you think? Does it matter? I told y'all how I felt about it, but what you think? you know. And you got to look at, you know, that's not something to tease somebody about too. I mean, I think some, you know, when it comes to women being loosey gooseys, they don't want to be teased about that. They really don't. That's probably a it probably bothers them that they became loose like that. And some would say that that happens because you've had a whole lot of different men in your life and you've done that. I know people that have been dealing with having men since they was 13 years old and they not loose. They not loosey goosey. So I don't know, the elasticity, something happens, something goes on with why some women, and then they say some women who've had a lot of babies, you know, it don't really ever go back down to normal. I don't know. You guys tell me. But as far as a man, you know, telling a man that he's large and he's endowed and he's that, I could see that being an ego booster, um, because it's making him feel like he man, you know, he got the business. He got it going on. Woo woo woo, right? But if you teasing him about his little almond, that's gonna kind of hit that's gonna hit the ego, you know, because you tell him, boy, you just little, sit down somewhere. I mean, it depends. It depends on how you bring that out. So you know, you have to be careful about that. And you know, when you get with someone, what you're dealing with as far as size. First time you get with them, a woman could probably, we can kind of gauge it with, if you have a woman that's you know, you can have your clothes on and she's just touching you and playing with you, whatever, and you grow, she can kind of get an idea. Oh, you got a big one. Oh, where is it? I don't know. You know, she can kind of gauge it. But with a woman, it's hard for a man to know she's loosey goosey until it gets to that point where he's getting ready to take his dive, you know? So it's one of those things where you have to wait and see. But I don't think that should be the deciding factor of you continuing on seeing someone. I think you should work together and become more skilled in trying to learn certain ways to please one another around the issues of, you know, maybe this person you're with love big ones. They've always had big ones, and you are a little one. Well, they need to decide if they want to deal with your little one, because it ain't going to get no bigger. You know, some people may think as I get older, child, it's going to get bigger. Mm-hmm. And that don't, no. As you get older, it starts to shrivel a little bit from what I heard. So, um, you got to decide, ladies, if he's not big enough for you. You have to decide, okay, he's not big enough. What am I going to do? Am I going to still deal with him, or am I going to go and find a big one? Is that, if that's what's so important to you, then you probably should, because he's not going to get any bigger. This is who he is. And if you've fallen into her canyon, fellas, it doesn't mean that she's cheating on you or have cheated on you or whatever, or have a lot of men. She's just got a big canyon. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do with that big old canyon? Get creative. You know, get creative. You know, nowadays you can Google anything. You can go into these little toy stores and say, "Look, I got an issue. I'm dealing with somebody that got a big canyon, and I need to know what you got that I can work with to help with that." Or Google it. How do you deal with big canyons? How do you deal with almonds? How do you deal with bulldozers? Google knows everything, right? So, you know, I'm just saying, you guys, this, I'm just trying to make some fun out of this because, you know, it's real. It's real. And please don't let it be the deciding factor of choosing someone to be with you, to be that potential great mate for life, maybe, because they got a little one, or they got a big one, or they got a wide one. And learn based on your own, you know, size and stuff. I mean, men, you, when you small, you know you small. I'm quite sure somebody has told you, or, in gym and school, you guys look at each other and look at man, wow, mine ain't. Mm. And women, you Lucy, because somebody done told you, girl, why that stuff? Somebody done told you. Or you may have tried to put a tampon in there and it flopped right back out. Yeah, you may have put a tampon in it and it spilled back out. So, you know yourself too. So, with that being said, don't let it be something that holds you back from pursuing someone that's really hot and cool. Um, don't be insecure about it. Don't, some people, I've heard stories where, men who are really small will end up, well, I just wanted you to know that, I do have a small one. And they haven't even slept together, or it's not, you're showing insecurity. You don't need to tell somebody that you have interest in, that you're getting ready to get down with, about the size of your situation. They gonna find out. It's what you start doing your research on how you work with your situation. Okay? Because a man being small, what if he gets with a woman that has a really small tunnel? If she has a really small tunnel, that small walnut, or not walnut, um, y'all know what I'm talking about. That little small almond is gonna fit perfectly in there. You see what I'm saying? But if she has a wick wide canyon, y'all gonna have to figure something out, make it work, right? And men, if you're too large, you don't need to brag about how big your joystick is. She's gonna find out the minute you take it out, and the second minute that you try to plant it in. She's gonna find out, and you're gonna find out if she can deal with that or not. Yeah, if she can't deal with it, I mean, y'all got to work out something. You gotta prep her and prime her to be able to deal with it. You digging her, she digging you, and I say that ain't no reason to leave nobody alone. Mm-mm, not at all. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this topic today. Grown folk talk at its finest. I hope it didn't offend anyone, but it's real life, real talk that sometimes, we just got to lay it on the table. We got to think about, and there's someone that's always going through something that we talk about. Trust me. We are grown. We are human. So we're dealing with issues. We're dealing with the mismatch of the partners in the bedroom. We're dealing with size. We're dealing with, um, I'm not really turned on to this about that person, but I love everything else. So if everything else is outweighing that little bitty thing, y'all better work on it. You better work on it. Don't you sit up there and lose you a good one because size. The size got to do with it. I know some people saying, I don't know, I hear, but I ain't for that. If he got a little almond, I can't. If he got a big bulldozer, I can't. If she got a wide, wide canyon, oh my God, I done got lost in it. It's reminding me of everybody she done been with. I can't. Somebody that's saying that. But anyway, I hope this was a great topic for you guys. Thank you for chiming in. I just came on by just to spread this sunshine and this grown folk talk. I'm gonna try to be back here tomorrow. I'm feeling much better. Still dealing with some things, but I'm hoping by this weekend I'm gonna be back to normal. That's my plan. And I want you guys to be grown, and I want you to love yourself, and I want you to stay open with your pretty personalities in your mind, and just be open to whatever. Okay? Don't be closed off. Don't be mad. Just be glad. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.